Hi, in this video, we're going to pick up in chapter 5, the tutorials in there. We're on tutorial 5.4, and this is the book that I use for my class on here. So this one, what we're going to do is they've already got the interface created for us, so we'll open that up. It's called the Friend File Project, to where it allows you to enter a friend's name, click on the Write Name button, which will then store it into a file. So I'm going to get Visual Studio up here, and then open this file up. Go. Okay, so if you got those error messages on there, you can, I'm going to go get over here on this, which we may still get those error messages on here. Yep, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these. I'm going to reposition on here because it doesn't look the same on the 125 as it does for the 100% on there. There we go. So it looks a little bit better on there. So we're going to go ahead and get going with the code on this. And the code we want to do, like I said, is going to allow the user, the person running the program, to enter a name and have it stored into a file. So I'm going to double click on the Write button. There we are. So to start with, we're going to do a try catch. So I'm going to do a try. Put the curly braces there. We're going to do a stream writer output file. Okay. I'm going to do output file is going to be equal to file dot create text, and then we're going to call it friend.txt is the file name. So what we want to do is get the name from the text box and write that to the file. Well, since the input for this is going to be a string, we don't need to do any conversion on it. So we can do output file dot write name text box dot text. And then we'll do output file dot close. And then we'll do a message box dot show. Oh, sorry, wrong thing. I thought they were going to do a message box. Oh, they do. Okay. Message box dot show. The name was written. Okay. That ends our try. So we want to do our catch. Exception EX. And then all we're going to do in here is a message box dot show our EX dot message. Okay, and then we have our ending on there. So that takes care of the code for this. Need to check and make sure I'm not missing anything on here. Because I think that there's, okay, I think we're good. So we're going to go ahead and go back to our form and do our exit button real quick here. This dot close, and then we'll go ahead and run this. And it shouldn't take too long for it to get going here. There we go. I'm going to put in a name, Frank Smith. Click on Write. Comes up and tells us the name was written. Click on OK. Exit. And then I can go out and trim in the right place. Yep. So there's our friend file. And then we need to go into this folder here. And then our bin and then debug. That's where you find, and then the net 6.0 on there that this program is using, and that's where you find your friend.txt file, and there's where the Frank Smith is. Okay, so that worked out pretty well. So let's go on to the next one. And if I'm not mistaken, the next one's going to do some modifications. This one, that's appending data to the friend file. So in this one, it's going to be similar, but instead of writing to the file, because if you open a file to write, then if there's something already in it, it's going to erase all that out and create a new file. But if you append to it, then it will keep what's already in there and add to the end of it. So we're going to use the same one here, and we're going to do our try, our stream writer for output file. Then we're going to do is this one instead of the output output file.create text, we're going to do output file equals file.append text. So we're going to change this right here to append. Okay. Then we're going to write to the file, close the file. The message box, the name was written, and everything else on here is the same. The only other thing that they did, I think this one they added a clear button, which I'm not going to mess with on here because we have to add it into the designer and everything. So we'll just leave it like this. Let's go ahead and run it. So I'm going to do enter a friend's name. I'm going to do Mary Jones. Click on write. So the name was written. Exit. And then I'll open this one up. And now we have Frank Smith and Mary Jones, but look at that. It's on the same line there, and that's not what we wanted to do. So we're going to have to fix that in our program. And the way that we would fix that is instead of doing a write, we're going to change this to a write line with a capital L. Okay, that would force it to do a carriage return at the end of it. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to edit my friend.txt in here and take out this Mary Jones on there and then do a file save. Then close this off here. Okay, and now what we'll do is run this again. And I'm going to put in the Mary Jones and click on write. Name was written. Click on exit. And then we'll check the file again. Put it on the same line. Shouldn't have done that. That wasn't very nice. Delete this out of here again. Save that, see if I can figure out what's going on with this, because I do have in the file or in the in here to do a output.writeLine name textbox.text, which should put it on the separate line. There we go. Now we got Mary Smith in there on a line by itself. I hit enter after here. I'm misspelled. I put synth. But when I put the file in here, I put a carriage return in there, which actually forced it in there that I shouldn't have done. So anyway, but it is working. Wanted to make sure that that was all working and everything. So let's go ahead and we'll do another video. That's what happens. You got to pay attention to what's going on and look at your code and stuff, and then go back and fix things. So this one's going to be using a loop to read to the end of the file. And this one is, we're going to complete the South America project. So I'm going to go ahead and close this one off. Close my solution on this one. And then I'm going to open project and do the South America right here. So in this one, we're going to have a list box that's going to list the countries of South America, or at least a few of the countries of South America. And then you click on it, and let's see what happens with this. So when the application runs, the user clicks the Get Countries button. The application reads each country name from a file. So we're getting this from a file, and they're going to put them into the list box on there. Okay. So we've got this. I'm going to close these off here. Okay, and I'm going to go out here and South America and South America bin debug. Normally it would be in here, but it's doing this net60. So we got to go into that folder. There's our countries.txt, and there's the file with the names in there. Okay, so that's what we're going to be working with on here. Okay, so now we're ready to go here. So let me get the my code set up, and then we'll get into the Get Countries button. Okay, so Get Countries. We're going to do a try again, try catch. So we do try. Inside here, we're going to start off with a string called country name. We're going to have a stream writer, or sorry, stream reader. Call it input file. So we have input file equals file dot open text countries.txt. So what we want to do is we want to clear the list box just in case something happens to be in it. So we'll clear that first. So countries list box dot items dot clear. And then we're going to do a while loop. So while not, which is an exclamation point, input file dot end of stream, which will stop the loop when the next item that we would input would be the end of the file on there. So we're going to get country name is going to be equal to input file dot read line. So parentheses and parentheses because that's a method. Then we're going to do a country list box dot items. Oops. dot add, and then country name. And then we'll do an input. Oh, sorry, back up over here because getting this out of here. Okay, so that's the end of the while loop once those two lines are done. So we get out of the while loop and close the file. Put file.close. Okay, so then we're done with our try parts. Now we got to do our catch part. It's going to be our exception dot, or the exception space EX. No, that's exit button. Exception EX. And this stuff should be over here. I don't know why I put it there. Okay, so what goes in here then is our message box dot show ex dot message. Semicolon. So I need to figure out why that has a doesn't like the formatting. Let's see if we can fix the formatting. Nope, that's not right. Okay, let me. There we go. That's got it all fixed on there. So, okay, so let's see what happens when we do this. We're going to go ahead and run this. And with the autocomplete stuff on there, it sometimes messes things up on there and makes it difficult to figure out what's going on. So let's do there's the countries. We did the get countries and just puts them all into the list box and everything. It looks great. So everything worked. We did not do the exit button. That's fine. We'll do it on the next time. But hopefully you understand all that and have figured out how to do these. These are underlined here. It's a stream reader read line, which I'm not sure why it underlines those like that. And then country name is underlined. And it says a country name may be null, but that's not right because right here country name is this, which is getting it from the file. So I don't understand why it's underlined like that because everything is working fine. But anyway, we'll go to the next video on here and work on the other tutorials in this chapter. Bye.